workout's 100% complete. But you're going to watch me do the last little spot here because it's absolutely vital for us to start talking about this, and I need to do it in a way when I'm talking with you, not at you. So the bottom line is here first. If you're tuning in, please make sure to hit that like button. I know a lot of people already hit the like button, even if they wandered away waiting for the live to start. We have to talk about an extreme strategy that is taking place. And this isn't just in the crypto market. I talked about it in the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ, how it didn't look right with that small reversal and how it was coming up to that 50 to 60% retracement of the drop, which is a standard rejection area. XRP played it by the book to $1.48. Came right back down. XDC, I stayed on all the way until the end yesterday for almost an hour and 40 minutes during my live instead of an hour because we had a buy-in on the back test of the expandable wedge, and we had a two-layer breakout system. First layer was about 6.5%, and it could have extended out to 27 or 28. Rejected at that area at about 8% up, and I called the sell signal yesterday, and now it's dropped off by about another 4%. So that's why I did what I did yesterday. I had it set up so that everybody could see it. Yeah, it's 4.8% what I was looking for. Cumulatively after a little fee, no. But had I have held it until today, that entire 4.5% would be gone. And then it's about to go back the other way now. So unless we get some kind of dramatic event here on Friday that's going to change this, again, cryptocurrency has jumped the shark for now. Is it cooked? The conspiracy we know with Jane Street, single-handedly funding MicroStrategy by selling their Bitcoin holdings and buying MicroStrategy, pumping it artificially by 400 to 500% by Q3 of 25, releasing it in Q4, taking that money, MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, and getting loans so that they can buy Bitcoin, putting common shares out based on valuation. It's a whole big Ponzi scheme. That in lieu, with that price rise, which was my conspiracy, allowed other countries, corporations, business, retail entities, and stupid retail that voluntarily are getting paid in Bitcoin now, or put all of their savings in Bitcoin, now down about 50%, 45%. That is not the way to go. If you think this is going to get better before it gets worse, you better pray to God you're right. Because if you're putting it in here, we have a PSYOP, a 100% PSYOP to liquidate and steal retail's buying and purchasing power. I put the title, I put the image for a reason, because now it's time for us to put up or shut up. Good morning. 10:03 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, February 27th, 2026. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I really don't even know who would go this in depth for you for free. Not only did I set this up in the small sell window, if you were down here, I put it up in the phase, talked about yesterday how once it got down below, where was it at yesterday when we made the sell? Up here. Got rejected up here. Made the sell somewhere around, what was it, about here somewhere? Said it was going to come back. Oh, no, it was a little bit higher. Because it came up here initially. Then it pushed back around after the buy from down here. Pushed up. And then somewhere around here, sold out. Said we'll see how it reacts, like 3% down towards here, and it broke right through. And that was the anticipation. So, yeah, could it have been an upward target? You better freaking believe it. But were we going to give back the profits? Hell no. That's not how you invest, especially in a momentary swing up. So that's why I stayed on for 45 minutes extra yesterday than I was planning, because I wanted to lead everybody to the exact sell if they were in there. I talked about the 3 candlestick reversal yesterday, 1, 2, 3, confirmation down. It's simple. You had a rejection to a new high. Next candlestick showed a bearish bias, confirmed it, and then you had a 3 candlestick reversal. This is where we topped out. This was the first sign of a reversal. 1, 2, 3, confirmation, and 2 down now. Because once you get the third confirmation, even though it was a fake out trying to go back up, It confirmed it, and now it's breaking down. And once it does that, it's a quick happen. It's a quick event. It's not slow. It doesn't let you catch your breath. And now you get caught in the middle because now you've had the drop down, and now you got to watch a possible consolidation of the drop point. So now you're going to get confused. Everybody will be confused if they're on the wrong side of a trade. So it was better to take 4.5%, 5% than give it all back and then question and be like, uh-oh. You make 4 or 5% at a time, you're not going to lose. I have significantly less purchasing power today than I did yesterday because I paid my taxes. And let me tell you, the new rules for stablecoin absolutely bent me over a brick and pounded me out of existence. I had to pay so much in taxes this year. It was insane. Between what I made in crypto and between what I made in commodities, crypto killed me. I paid more in taxes than I made in most years. I don't want to say exactly how much, but it was getting close to 6 figures, let's just say. The amount of money they're taking from us out of crypto now, be careful. Make sure you have that money to the side and don't lie about how much you make. I did not. I got obliterated. I have a lot less purchasing power today because I don't keep a lot on capital. I kept enough because I knew I was going to have to pay a large tax bill. But let's just put it this way. The amount of money I was taxed in crypto because of the gains and so on and so forth, because it put me into a different category of earners, I became a high earner income. And then they base it on your income. I got killed. Basically wiped out the entire capital I had in my JP Morgan trading account. And I put it there strategically because I knew I would have to pay taxes, but holy shit. So I see exactly what's happening. So had I have reinvested and lost, I'd be screwed today. That's exactly why I cashed out. I couldn't afford to lose it. And the new tax things are getting worse. And now you have to send documentation for crypto. So I had to send a crypto.com PDF. Even after doing it, I had to send a PDF from my other brokerage. And there's no way of getting around it. If you lie about it, you are going to get hamstrung. It is so different this year than it was last year, and it's so much more expensive to trade crypto. They have new rules for stable coins where it's considered an income. If you transfer it from another exchange, it becomes income. The stablecoin transfer, unless you do it from your own bank account onto it, if you're doing it from another, it's considered income. So be careful. You're getting the same hit, whether it's capital gains or you're getting higher tax bracket. So it was like 2 or 3 times more than I've ever made in a year, and 5 times more than I've ever paid in taxes. It was horrible. I'm almost still in that zone of dead on arrival, basically. Dead on arrival. I don't even know if I did the intro yet, but I don't have any comments out right now. But what they're doing is criminal. It's criminal. I owed more to the state of Michigan this year, by far, the percentages that they took, than I've ever seen before. The percentage in income is so bad, especially when you get into a higher category. It's disgusting. And I won't be in that category next year. We had an anomaly year because 24, I made a significant amount of money into that 25 trading year when I sold. Between commodities and especially crypto with that big run, I undervalued how much I made to this entire audience because I don't need to say anything more. But let's just say I took a gigantic hit, and now it's one of those stressing moments because now it's like, now I got to dig deeper. I just lost a significant amount of my portfolio. I didn't take anything out of my crypto, but I've lost a significant amount of my purchasing power. Significant. So I'm going to grind even harder. I appreciate everybody in the classes, and I'm going to have to do extra work now. My son's disabled. He's special needs. Julie can't work, and the government taking that much money definitely put me in an interesting spot. I have plenty of capital to where I can live, but as far as doing some of the more exciting things in life, I ain't going nowhere for a while. The next 6 months, unless I'm taking my son to the house, I ain't doing shit. Now I got to pay a $5,300 property tax bill that'll come in the summer. Have to keep that money to the side. And this winter taxes for me is only a couple hundred. It's all based in the summer. So the lesson here, do not trade your money that you have to pay in taxes, because if you lose it the next calendar year, you still have to pay it, ladies and gentlemen, from the year before. So do not get in a bind. Do what I did. Take the money off the exchanges when you do it. And the reason I'm in a bigger bind than I should be is because I had to put $90,000 into work into my house last year, because I just needed it. Needed new windows, I needed new floors, I needed to rebuild the kitchen because it was from the 60s. I had to redo a whole HVAC system the year before. So it's definitely draining. But at the same time, it's a relief to actually be on the right standing. But it's criminal. So I'm just going to give you that warning. Just, you're going to be shocked when you see the crypto tax when you do your taxes this year. It's a lot different. And it's a lot more in depth. And there's a lot more they're taking. A lot more. And a lot more. So, hold on, I got to take this call. Hello? My name is not speaking, but I'm currently at work. There was no callback number, and the notice, it's not even going to help me. I need the number to be looked at, because you guys aren't going to drop it. It's outside of what I can even come close to paying back. And the only thing I can tell you is that at my son's special needs, I am working through YouTube and stuff like that. I had investments, but I haven't been paid in several years. The number keeps changing, which you tell me I owe. I can't see out of one of my eyes because I have keratoconus, so it limits me what I can do. I don't have a driver's license because I can't see good enough. I was stripped of it. So, yeah. We can. It started, the first one you sent me was 170,000. Yeah, but the amount you charge me is just 170. I mean, I would be willing to pay something back on my phone. Well, if you're trying to save it, pay something else. Absolutely, that would be great. And I'm not unwilling to pay something back. Now, but it's way out of my price. Well, how much did we do? Um, well, I mean, I know you're gonna sign up. I mean, I can try to do something as a special needs. I just had to get I can sell on my so I have a huge this year. Um, so, but I can do, I don't know, a couple of hundred dollars, a couple of things I can probably do. Just try to get I would like to say, yeah, I would try to get it 500,000. So I could. You start with 500 maybe. Would that be fair? Well, this year's going to be an anomaly because I decided.
He'll be right back. He's still on the phone. Just so you know.
Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah. So that was interesting. So basically, when I first got injured when I was younger, they came back and they tried to get an overpayment, and I had to work with them for like 2 years because they tried to come back and get almost 200,000, which was ridiculous. So I came. Well, they're still reconsidering, but I came to an agreement to start paying back a little bit of it, so that once they come to the right amount, it'll take it off, you know. But that's $500 a month now. I got to pay for that too. So I'm permanently disabled. I can only see out of one eye as well, and the government is, like I said, the government is not our friend. So if you guys think you understand my situation and why I have to do what I do, you haven't even been enlightened enough to even know what's going on. I hide a lot of stuff because I'm mentally strong, but I'm dealing with a hell of a lot of stuff right now. So if you want to bet on me, bet on me. If you want to learn, take my classes. But don't ever think I don't have your best interests at heart. I'm going through so much stuff you guys wouldn't even understand. So let's get into this. I actually feel relieved because this is a situation that I needed to come to a resolution, and now that I have one, yes, it's going to cost me between $6,000 and $12,000 a year until it's paid back, but it is what it is. So let's get into the charts. Dan, welcome in, along with Define. Thanks for being in town. 6+ months with the XRP Predictor, and William Hayes as well. Wow, William Hayes upgraded to the live classes. Holy smokes. Thank you so much for that. That's going to mean more and more each and every day with what I'm dealing with right now for the ones who believe in what I do and want to take the classes. You're not going to be disappointed. I put my heart and soul into that class. True Ravens, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2+ years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Jay for Mix, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with your second month with the Dusty's Out House Crypto News. 1970 Legend, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge, along with Mick Shoot and Crypto Cooter. Define, 1970 Legend, and Crypto Cooter, thanks for being very trusted mods in this community. Define says, hi everyone, hit that like on the way in. Consider subscribing and joining Tom's Army for the best technical analysis on YouTube. Every day you are not in the Telegram, you are missing out. Why wait? I agree. Mick Shoot, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year. XRP John Hall, welcome in. Tim Rain. Juan, thank you both for being in Tom's Army. Juan for over a year and Tim Rain for a month. UK Phil over 1 year. Appreciate that. Jerry Clark and Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hand badge. Michael, good morning. Garris, thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month. Smack Information, Michael, good morning. Lucky Guy 13. Mosey here, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP 589 Moon Badge. SBS, good morning. William Hayes, thanks for gifting a sub as well as leveling up into the live classes. That's extremely awesome of you. And welcome into Tom's Army now, Connie. I really appreciate seeing you in here. Now that I'm a member of Tom's Army, hopefully I'll see you in here even more. Clint Dunbar, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months. Shane, welcome in, my brother. SB Somaza, good morning. Yeah, but Garris, the longer you wait, the more you're going to have to pay on the back end, because it's going to consider everything you have stacked up in there. They're going to consider it income. So just remember that. You can't hide forever. The longer you wait, the more it's going to cost. Hoodie, good morning. Lucky Guy, welcome in. Smackamation. Watch your words using the Lord's name in vain. Oh, okay, I see. You weren't talking. I was going to say that. The only tax when cashing out to exchange. Keep records of purchases for gain loss. Cannabis Podcast, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year. Mrs. Stott, welcome in, along with Lewis. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months. Lewis gifts a sub this morning. Thank you very much for that. That goes to DXAWAD. I really appreciate that, everybody, for the gifted subs. And congratulations for your second month now, DX. Oliver Marks, thanks for 1 year. Lung Snack, thanks for a year. Carl, also 1 year. John Allen, Elmer, welcome in, my friends. Elmer Fudd. Daher, thanks for being in town on your first month. Yeah, there's a lot of inconsistencies that you're going to have to deal with, everybody. Bearded Viking, thanks for being in town for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Let's continue to pray for Mighty Marcus and Bearded Viking and his wife for the best possible outcome and the positive mindset. We pray in the name of Yahweh and Yeshua. Amen. Vado Damas, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I appreciate the love, everybody. I really, really, really do. I really do. You have no idea how much you help me on a daily basis. When I sold my XTC out, it charged $200. Does that sound about right? I had 190,000 of it. Are you on Kraken Pro? Because that's way more than I was charged. And I had 6 times the tokens when I did it. So, no, not 6 times, like 5 times the tokens. Big Dog, welcome in and thanks for being in town 6+ months with the XP Predictor along with Walter Rupp. I think a lot of us are in the same boat. If this investing process doesn't work out, we are going to lose everything. My money is on you, Tom. I appreciate that, Walter. More than you know. Wow, Vado Damas, I can't even thank you enough for joining the live classes. Make sure you guys, if you are joining, go into the membership area. There's a link if you're interested in checking it out. You don't have to watch it in real time, but we've got 8 classes. There's got to be now 14 hours of learning approximately, maybe 13 to 14. So you guys have a lot to catch up on, but it's well worth every moment. Well worth it. And by the time we get into the real charts, you guys are going to be such experts. You're going to, every day you're in there, you're going to question how you were not in there before and how you were able to trade if you don't understand. Just send it. Thanks for 6+ months. John Bugathorpe over 1 year. And Bold FC, good morning, friends. So thank you all for the continued support. Carl says classes are great. Overly worth it. I appreciate that. I put in a lot of work into it. A lot of work. Yes, definitely start from the beginning, Bado Damas, and hopefully I'll see you Monday at noon. Good morning, Bright Future Freedom. So let's get into the charts now. I appreciate you guys' patience as I was dealing with that personal stuff that I was honest with you guys about. Yes, we have plenty of downside to go simply. First area we need to see is if this old liquidity box holds. This is your first catch area, all the way down to $1.33. If that breaks, right down to $1.23 to $1.26 approximately. Probably $1.23 in real time. Technical target is still 86.6 cents off of that breakdown of the descending triangle that we still have not been able to take back. We had a fake out back into the symmetrical triangle that broke down, or it's breaking down in real time. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff we're looking at. I gotta let my cat in though. My cat's going nuts outside. Sorry about that, everybody. I had to let my cat in. I know it's been a weird morning so far. Let's see. Good morning, Randad. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 4 years with the XRP Phoenix badge. Please tell everyone regular Kraken sucks. Hold different pro. I keep telling everybody that. Kraken Pro. If you're not paying the $5, it's going to cost you a lot of money comparatively. I tell that to everybody every single time. I always say Kraken Pro. I never just say Kraken. So you're absolutely right about that. You know, we're just lucky they offer us the Kraken Pro break. But yeah, beyond that, we've got XRP down 3.31%. Looking, these are engulfing candles. The sell candle, this was the one that broke the camel's back. Remember, we had a reversal, 1, 2, 3 candlestick confirmation breakdown. And this is the one that really killed us. That was when we sold off most of the buy volume, and it outweighed the buy volume, which tells you we're overtly bearish in the area. We talked about in the 4-hour time frame how the stochastic came way up, and that again hamstrung us big time. We're hamstrung. Yes, please delete Kraken app, everybody. Like Break is saying, thank you, Break, for actually caring about this community like you do. Delete Kraken and download Kraken Pro 100%. But it's beyond this downloading Kraken Pro. Pay the $4.99 a month or whatever it is. Trust me, it's the best thing you'll ever do. No, this is very easy to read. We've been on the point. We've been on point with crypto. There's just a lot more volatility. Stocks they act the same. Look, the Dow's down 665 points, and I said yesterday, after the 850 point drop 2 days ago, yeah, it might have been up 400 or 500 points. I gave the exact number it needed to push, and I gave the exact level yesterday for everybody to see where it was going to come up to. We talked about it. If you guys were in here, we talked about it. The only way that I could have succeeded was not to do this. And look, it absolutely did this. It comes up here, and it created that right looking shoulder. Now, if this is the case, it's going to be an assault on these markets. You've got, you know, certain things. Oil was up initially. It's starting to fade a little bit. Platinum, gold, silver doing great. Miners not overly impressive, but I'm more worried about the physical metals right now. So we'll see what happens. Totally awesome. Good morning, and thanks for being in town for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Amen. Thanks for being in town for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. But yeah, there's no doubt about it. With this market going from regulated or unregulated to regulated, you know, it's there's a lot. It's a lot. So we'll just have to deal with it like we can. I mean, there's nothing else we can do. There's nothing else we can do. We just kind of have to deal with this like we're dealing with it. And all we have to do is keep watching it and stay ahead of the charts. If you're struggling with the charts or market dynamics, or the psychology of trading especially, we start off trying to learn the psychology in the classes. We try to learn well, you'll have to go through, but you don't even get to a chart for many, many months. And it's an honoring database. I'm telling you, you're going to be a very veteran trader if you do this. From a mental standpoint to start, we should never even open TradingView until we understand what a lot of things are. Yes, it's a very bad thing, Laurel. I talk about it every day. With Clarity Act, crypto was getting its liquidity because it's like a casino-like atmosphere. And it's an unregulated market, which was drawing us away from a regulated market like the stock market. Well, by making it regulated, that's the exact reason why they're putting all these ETFs out, so big corporations don't technically have to trade crypto anymore when it's regulated. They can just go buy the ETFs and other things that will give you the same holdings. Like some companies choose to invest in companies like MicroStrategy now instead of Bitcoin when there's about to be a move up because it's going to make more, but understanding you're going to lose more on a drop. Some people, when they want to invest in Ethereum now, they invest in Tom Lee's Bitmine. When they want to invest in XRP, they might get the Canary Cat. They might get XRPC or some other ones that are the ETFs. So they're trying to, a lot of institutional money is starting to pull into those ETFs and not trade the actual crypto market, which is why we're seeing falling volume. We can spin it however we want, but that's what's happening. So, you know, we've got a big problem, a very big problem. XRPT split locked us out now too expensive. Unbelievable. Oh no, volatility is not going to go away. It's just the amount that you're seeing. In a regulated market, there's a thing called halting, which you're going to get used to in crypto. within a few months after the Clarity Act is passed, because it's within the bylaws that they can control the market if it's too volatile, which means they'll keep it at a reasonable pace. And I'm telling you, the first time you see a halted, the first time you see them halt crypto, you're going to understand my fear. I'm just giving you a heads up. Joseph Euler, thanks for gifting a sub and also being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Goes to Toady Monger. Unbelievably awesome. Thank you so much for that. I can't even thank you enough for gifting and then allowing Tony to be a part of Tom's Army now for the first month. This is how we grow the community. It's in line with 30% drop though. What, the volume? Volume predicts price, brother. 30% drop. Or what do you mean 30%? It's in, oh, you mean the down to 83 cents? Is that what you're talking about roughly? Or 87 or whatever? Good morning, Sola Jeff. I'm trying to understand what you mean, Lo. Anyhow, moving on. Okay, yep, you're right, Lo. It's absolutely in line with that. You're 100% right. Now, do those areas hold? That's the only, you know, we have to wait because we could technically go all the way down to 56 cents and still be in a very big cup and handle with that descending wedge. So, it's one of those things. Aloha, Bear. I'm glad to see you back here today again and in Tom's Army for over a year with the I Told You So badge. Moving on to Bitcoin, down 2.2% on the day. If we look at the appropriate chart, Bitcoin failed so far to hold the back test. And being that as the case, the next level is going to be 63,900 approximately. If it continues down, that's an engulfing candle to the downside as of right now. Yes, we can have a minor pullback to the top side to 66,400 and some change if we want to see how this works out. So, Matthew, you have the Kraken Pro app. Do you pay the monthly fee? Is the other question. That'd be the other side of this. Because even if you have the Kraken Pro, if you're not paying the monthly fee, you don't get the benefits. What happens in halting typically, Juan, is if you have a big move up, they turn off the buys and they allow people to only sell. So it's not going to save us much, but you're right. The institutions would be the ones who make more bank. So I'm not looking forward to that side of crypto. In fact, all this new tax stuff really makes me think twice about all of this. Not from a perspective of holding it at some point, but just the entirety of trading it. So, see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's nothing that we haven't talked about in the past or the fears we've had. They're just being realized now, that's all. Everything we feared is coming to fruition. And with the Jane Street stuff, it confirms that Bitcoin is a big Ponzi. And that a lot of things that shouldn't be happening are happening. Bitcoin was propped up artificially. They're absolutely stealing, the crypto market is stealing our buying power. And the dark side of crypto, like I said in the title, retail is under attack. You're under attack. We are under attack. Whether it's in the markets or not, we're full out under attack. So, we have a big problem. A big, big problem. And I'm not oblivious. I don't think any of us are oblivious to what we're seeing. Ethereum failed to hold the back test around 2,000. And now it's got to push down towards the first layer at 1,900. If that fails, we've got about 1,800. And if that fails, bearish pennant wins out. And the possibility could be all the way down to there. That won't be the first target. Around 1,200 area would probably be. But that's just something we have to face. I know this doesn't hit the sweet spot for some if you're looking for the volatility upside. But all we can do is pay attention to the pattern setup. And right now we have that bearish pennant. And if it doesn't invalidate, we have no choice but to go down. And that is a confirmation after the breakdown of the descending triangle. That symmetrical triangle is in fact a bearish pennant the way it's set up. So it is what it is. And we're on the downside of it. I'm up 17% from the bottom, up 37% at the moment, but I use low liquidity and high risk. Yeah, well, that 37% can turn into a negative 37% and high leverage. Just be careful with that. Be careful with that. It depends which world we're living in, Cannabis Podcast. We haven't seen this world yet. This is a different one. But yeah, typically they do have to boom. They have no choice because they've been drained so much. I'm waiting for that first $3, $5, $6, $8,000 down day in the Dow is what I'm waiting for. Not one, not two, but at least 3,000 down is what I'm waiting for. That'll get people's attention. If I come in here saying the Dow's down 3,000 points, will that get your attention? I talked about the reality that 50K was probably the line in the sand for the movement up. I think we're all getting a little crypto fatigued. And my crypto fatigue has nothing to do with actually trading, pricing, charting, seeing the volatility. My fatigue is coming from I can see what they're doing. This reminds me of the dot-com bubble all over again. OKX, no. I don't even know if that's available in the USA. I'm sticking to what I have, and I'm not expanding any further, period. I will not make any more dramatic moves in crypto outside of the exchange I'm on, period. I've lost my faith in our government to do what they need to do with the exchange, with the reality of crypto. So now I stay on the single focus mindset through Kraken, and that's it. Kraken Pro. I have no faith in the space. I have faith we can make gains. Doesn't seeing give us an advantage? Of course it does. But at what cost? You have to be mentally strong enough not to buy the dip when it's not the dip. You have to be mentally tough enough, even though I'm not a financial advisor, to bring out all the nonsense around you and pay attention like yesterday when I gave the hint at XDC that that's the downside. That's the sell signal. Even though we were looking for a possible 27%, what it did yesterday, it proved, at least initially, it wasn't going to come up here. So you have to take the gains when they're there, and then you have to let it work itself out. It's a momentary decision. And now it's broke through that support you would have hoped for the inverse head and shoulders. Now it's going to have to do something extraordinary and show strength here. Because if it dumps out, there's still a lot of room to come down. So yeah, it is an advantage. But you have to be willing to use the advantage. A lot of people know how to trade. They know how to look at a chart, but they don't have the emotional stability, their mental understanding of the market dynamics down. I don't just think altcoins die with the Clarity Act. I think utility tokens lose between 7 to 9 times their value that they're at right now in time. Or actually from where it was at the all-time high. So that means XRP with the Clarity Act, everybody's expecting it to go to 100. I expect it to go to like 10 cents in time, or 50 cents, or 30 cents. I don't expect. I could even see a lot of things flipping zeros. And all of a sudden our 10x move being from 90% down. So yeah, I can still see a 10x because they're going to happen. But from what level? The propagation of a Clarity Act and what they're doing, and now they're using Jane Street to confirm they're going to pass this. It changes the game. I didn't push precious metals for several years for no reason. In the heart of when people were buying crypto. I didn't buy it at those times. I bought where I knew the money needed to go. And I kept money on the sideline for when we had to re-enter. There was a gap on XRP from the 2020 drop when the lawsuit was announced, all the way down at 10.6 cents approximately. So there's also a fair value gap down at about 3.7 cents roughly. So yeah, if we start going down that far, that's what I'm talking about. We can absolutely do this. So old targets, 10 to 20. Those old targets were never even targets. That was my best case scenario situation, John. You got to remember what I was saying. That's the best case scenario, in my opinion, 10 to 20. If this fails, our target of $5 and something cents, or 632, that was the real target. 549 to 632 or 642. I've never changed that. The only way we can get to 10 to 20 is if we were to get on top of that. We don't have enough liquidity in crypto to get that high. There's too many tokens, everybody. You're watching it, brother. What do I do for a living? I teach. I teach. I'm an investor. But now I'm starting to market it towards teaching because I was given job offers that I didn't take based on my experience here. I'm permanently disabled. I can only see out of one eye. Broke my back when I was 23. Tried to work, and now the government is taking back anything that I even made. So it's going to cost me basically an arm and a leg. And yeah, you're looking at it. You're looking at what I do. Not just YouTube. If you go into the class, you can really see what I do. But this is it. This is all I can do. My son's special needs. I don't have the ability to even drive anymore. I don't have a license. I can't see good enough. So you got to do what you got to do. You got to make ends meet some way, even if it's hard. So I don't make excuses. I just try to push forward. If you want the honest to God truth, like I always give you, that's the honest to God truth. Tom, do you have a regular job or do you trade full time? It's not even about just trading. I make, you know, it's not terribly a lot, but like right now, maybe I could make $300 or $3,500 a month. Now that I'm doing the classes, maybe it'll go to 4,000 on YouTube. I don't know, but that's a part of the income, or most of the income. My trading is another part, but now with the taxes being so high, you can never rely on trading as a proper income. So you have to have something else that brings in a monthly income, and that's why YouTube helps for sure. You know, getting a little bit of advertising dollars on Facebook. Definitely, I mean, I don't make a lot on Facebook, but, you know, I've made, I think, $500 or $600 in ad revenue in the last month and a half, 2 months. So, I mean, that's something. I hustle, man. I grind. I got to be here all day. Julie can't work. She's permanently injured. She's had ankle replacements and, I don't know, 7, 8 surgeries. My son's autistic. He's nonverbal. He had a significant leg injury that is going to hammer him the rest of his life when he was 6 months old in a car accident. Broke his femur, has shin dysplasia, where when he corrected, his shin healed outward because of the severity of the fracture. So he's going to have disadvantages. So, you know, every day's a grind. I'm out. I haven't hidden it. I'm not riding the market down. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm just not going to, I can't just keep going so deep with some of the info. The coins, it's my strategy, the XXX HA strategy. And now, whether or not I buy every single one of those tokens depends. It's actually the XXX HA V strategy for VeChain if it goes cheap enough. But that's my plan. Unless you hear it come out of my mouth that I'm not doing that, that is my plan. But it's got to be at the appropriate levels. And will I take a swing every now and then like I did with XDC to try to advance capital? Sure. Sure. But that's a momentary decision. But I'm not going to hold it for any length of time. The moment it makes it look bad, I'll take the 5% if that's what needs to be done, like I did yesterday. Because I would have just gave it all back since that. Yeah, it's Brandad, great questions. Great questions. Maybe targets was the wrong word. I refer to long run price. We talked. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Nobody ever said tens of dollars for XRP Healthcare. I mean, that's if it ended up adopting. There was a lot of risk there. The gains that we made that should have been appreciated when we bought it at 2 cents and it went to 50 something. That was a big part of that move. Big part of that move. Would we ever go back up there? Nobody knows. So I can't just ride it back to the bottom. But yeah, in a perfect world, John, if we don't invalidate this entire structure, I have no doubt that we can go up to higher levels. But there's no guarantee. When I was talking about all this, the Clarity Act was not a thing. It was not a thing. There was regulation talk, but we didn't have the framework for the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act changes everything. It changes everything. Randad, thank you so much for the $19.99 super chat and also being in Tom's Army for over 4 years with the XRP Phoenix badge. Greatly appreciate all of that. All of your support each and every day. I keep telling you guys, you are the best part of what I do, and the reason I don't turn advertising on during these lives is because of the support. Could I make a few hundred, like $800 to $1,000 more based on my audience a month? Sure, but I think it would cost me in the long run. I think a lot of people like the idea of coming in here during the live and not being interrupted by a commercial every 3 minutes. Because that's how it is on YouTube. Every 3 to 5 minutes, you have to see a commercial. For a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, I have no control over it. And I do an hour, hour and a half. So you're talking 7, 8, 9 commercials during the live. Oh, no, John, I love when you put me on the spot. And the only reason I'm very straightforward with you is because I know that's how you like it. I'm not trying to be a dick. I know I have to be straightforward with you because you want to hear it straight. No, not the end of March. If anything, it'll be the end of April is what it's set up for. Unless something crazy happens because of Jane Street and they say, well, we have to do an emergency signing. The earliest I can see is the end of April, in my opinion. And no, John, I've never thought you were putting me on the spot. I just think you want honesty, to be honest. And that's why you ask such direct questions. Laurel, no, I don't think by the end of March. I think by the end of April would be the first chance. But probably going into May or June would probably be more realistic. But end of April is my anticipation of when it could first be passed. If it happens before, well, it makes things a little bit trickier. It's already tricky. It's already a very tricky circumstance we're dealing with. So, yeah, it's a big issue. That's all. But we're just dealing with a big problem, okay? Everybody. And I'm okay with acknowledging it forward because the more clear we are in our minds to what's happening, the easier it's going to be to identify the lower levels. And that's what I think we've done as a community. But we have so much work to do still. There's just so much work to do. So, it's, we got a lot, guys. We've got a lot to deal with, but guess what? We're a strong community. We're one of the only communities that can come in and know what we're talking about. And I don't charge anybody anything for all this info every single day. It's if you want to level up. This never changes. I've never changed my identity. So the issue with the Clarity Act, it's simple. 1, they've put in amendments to where now they can halt the market. 2, they can dip into your cryptocurrency. 3, it makes your cold wallets visible and you have to be KYC'd. 4, non-KYC exchanges are now exempt from trading. 5, well, I've already said unregulated to regulated. 6, it puts the power in the hands of institutions and banks, takes it away from retail, and it confirms that a stable coin will be created on a private database, digitally, the digital dollar privately, but it'll be a stable coin that the public cannot own, and it'll be controlled by banks and institutions. It'll give a lot more power to the holders of the ETFs. This is where the little guy sinks. The taxes go up big time, and you've seen a hint of that today. I mean, a hint of that in this 2025 tax season. Oh, yeah, it's a problem. Not a lot of people acknowledge it. They just push the general narrative that, the Clarity Act's going to bring expansion. No, it's going to bring contraction. That's what you're seeing. All of this is contraction. Now, can it bring an exit pump? That's what we're hoping for. Well, yes, Carl, but look at it from the whole scale. Yes, it's down today, but have we not pumped going into the escrow from the $1.12 at least? So we don't know. They'd put them on the market on the 1st, but would you be surprised if they take out of other wallets and sell prior and don't tell us? Like maybe they were selling out on the push up here, mid-February. Maybe they were doing it here. But we've confirmed a head and shoulders pattern we talked about yesterday. And if this breaks down, we have no choice but to come back to the low. Crypto Cruder says the only people cheering for Clarity don't understand the Clarity Act and will be generational bag holders. Just wait for the unrealized taxes. That's the other part of this. The moment they make us pay for unrealized gains, I'm out of crypto permanently. Permanently. In any market. I will never trade again if I have to pay unrealized gains. Because now are they going to take away that unrealized gain, or are they going to do it from the top even if the price drops? I would suspect you'd be paying unrealized gains for XRP at 370 or 360 if you were holding, even if you're still holding and it's down to $1.40, $1.35. I'll still do this content, but not as a trader because I believe in what I do. But I won't be able to trade this market if they do unrealized gains. I don't have a problem doing content or teaching classes so we can learn things outside as well. They do not give us our unreal losses under this. Absolutely not, Cannabis Podcast. You're correct about that. And thanks for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. I can't even thank you enough. I mean, over 1 year with the I Told You So Bad. It's my bad. And it creates CBDC, sleight of hand, USDC, and Tether. You're damn right about that, Botodamus. We have a very, very educated audience. I know 20 people left during this part of the discussion. But those are the ones that are betting their bags on the Clarity Act. As long as there's not unrealized gains in the stock market, that they would do the same. Because this is particularly for crypto they're talking about. John Bugathorpe, be careful with what's constitutional and unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional to have tariffs and an income tax. It's in the Constitution. Don't we have both right now? So do you really think they care about what's unconstitutional or not? I'm just being honest. You're not allowed in this country to run an income tax system with tariffs. What are we doing right now? That's why I think we're going to have a big event that happens soon. Because they have to have us a way to keep us enclosed inside. You know what I'm saying? I love this community because we're not oblivious and we're not afraid to acknowledge what's going on. Some are. But as a whole, this community is trying to learn. I'm telling you, if you want to bet on yourself, take those classes. You're not even going to see a chart yet. There's so much stuff to learn. So much stuff to learn. And we have so much fun in there and I'm Professor Speak in there. You don't see me as XRP Future Millionaire. I don't have the same delivery. I don't have the same speaking. I don't have the same kind of setup. I'm teaching through an actual online professional course through Zoom. You're just able to see it through YouTube so that you don't, because they want to charge $100 and something a month for people so that they can have the database filled with the amount of gigabytes needed for what I do. And that's unacceptable. So you'd have to pay that and $50 or $49.99 a month for the class. That's unacceptable. So I just do it through my Zoom, so you can watch it through YouTube as I'm teaching it on Zoom. And what I do is I get the email from everybody, and every time we go through another phase, I send you the entire list of what I'm using for the information, so you don't have to write it down. And just an example of that, if you would like to see, is when I send stuff out. I mean, this is so I send you. So we're in the wealth preservation and generation, so I send you the talking points, okay? I send you the talking points so that you don't have to write it all down. And then I go beyond what those are, and I add new information within my slides and things like that and all this other good stuff. Some people might attempt to tax unrealized gains, socialist, of course, but they would not happen unless we already are controlled by socialists. Are you not paying attention? We used to be a constitutional republic. That changed with Obama. We are socialist. What do you think's going on right now? We take from the rich and give to the poor. Theoretically. But we're not. The poor are suffering. It's going to happen eventually, Dan, and thanks for being in town only 6+ months. We've become socialists, but I don't want to go down that road because I don't like talking politics because it's draining. Politics is a way to keep you from understanding what's really going on. Hey, it's the guy on the left or the guy on the right. Don't you understand at the end of each presidency, they make the guy going out look like an asshole, so you vote for the other party? And then right when that guy goes out, they make him look like an asshole and you vote for the other party? Then you go back to the other party and go back. We've been doing it for so long that we don't even know we're doing it. That's why I don't look at politics. I don't care for them. I watch my own walls. I watch my own community. Outside of that, I don't care. I'm just trying to keep you guys on the... Have I lied to you along the way? Have I been wrong about... Well, I've got to be wrong about something. I'm not perfect, but have I not been on point 90% of the time, let's call it? So I've never hid what I think is going to happen, and I think that gives me a lot of credibility and integrity. I'm not afraid to face the music, whether in here or my own personal life. Left hand, right hand, they're both sides of the same puppet. Carl says you have been. I have seen it in real time. I appreciate that, Carl. Soul Jeffy says pretty dang on point. I appreciate that, Soul. And you know what the best part of this version of me is? I don't care about anything else. This version is not 25 or 24 or 23 or 22 or 21 version. This is the most direct version you're ever going to get, and it's never going to leave. Once I bet on myself and turned that job offer down with Charles Schwab, that's all I needed to do. Then I came up with a plan, knew what I needed to do, and we're going to execute the plan as a group. And I refused that job because I would have had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and this channel would have been gone. I would have had to go goodbye-bye. That was part of it. I couldn't have done this channel because I'm too honest. So I've told you before, my bet is on myself. You know, unless it becomes the bottom line that I have no other choice. Right now I have a choice. So the classes will definitely help. If I become a teacher now and people are betting on me, and I was a teacher in the past, so it's not, you guys see how I put the classes out. It's very professional. It's probably more in depth than most of your college courses on a daily basis, I'm being honest. And it is us first, them, Dan, and you need a good leader. And that's what I signed up for. I want to be your leader, not any your controller. I want to be able to lead you not into slaughter, but into good things. Look at Ripple today. It put in a topping reversal pattern. We're going to have to build a stair somewhere because we took the elevator up if this plays out, which means the stair is probably going to bring us. Maybe it comes back to $1.04, but we're taking the stairs right now, it looks like. Now, if we took the elevator up and we take the elevator down, that's even worse. That means we're going into capitulation again. And if that happens, look out. Look out. Bad guy thinks we're 6+ months with the XRP predictor. Says getting my master's, how you definitely have a point. Some classes are a waste of time. You better believe it. I have a business degree and it was, I used to say it was pointless, but it wasn't because it taught me that the professors really don't know what they're, I owned a business at the time, a sprinkler company, but I inspired to do more because my dad had it and he was an engineer. So I basically took over. I was doing it from like 12 years old. And I got the business degree and associates, and I realized there's no reason to go to a university now. Plus, I broke my back during the process and finished my degree, at least, for the business. But I realized I got into a lot of heated conflicts and almost got kicked out of the class because my master in business administration, right? Mine was an associate's in general business administration, or business management, whatever the hell they called it at the time. Yep, I was going to go for the exact same thing for you if I went to the bachelor's and master's. The exact same degree I was going for. I believe it would have been a BBA. I have an ABA right now. I only went through the ABA, and then it would have been the BBA and then the MBA. So we were absolutely on point with each other. That's awesome to know. It's not a bad thing to know. You just have to realize the professor normally is teaching because they can't run a business. My professor never ran a business. And he was my teacher in business, in the business classes. I think they called it business management class or whatever the hell they did back then. Bad guy, out of curiosity, how old are you? And you don't have to answer. That's a personal question, I know. You're on the right track. Or I mean, in the all-time, we're on that topping reversal. Not in the daily. But the all-time, we have the M topping reversal, or the Batman. Oh, you're perfect. Perfect. You know what you want to do. Thank you for your service, brother. I'm glad that you're safe and you're able to build your knowledge now through schooling. Even though, as you know, schooling might not be all it's cut out to be, you can still learn a lot if you put the time in and you do it right. I believe a business degree will help you longer term than a lot of other degrees because at least you'll know how to do from a management position. You won't know how to, you won't have the skills hitting the ground, but from a book standpoint, you will. My professor that I had, I'd get into fights with him all the time because he'd be telling the class what to do and they're listening to him. I'm like, listen, I have to do the budget. I have to quote jobs. I have to know the bottom line between the plus and minus when I'm installing these sprinklers. I have to have a ditch witch. I have to have the line. I have to know all of this. And what you're telling everybody is half this doesn't exist and I'm getting into fights with you daily because you're full of shit is basically what I would tell them. And it got me in a lot of hot water at my community college because I got into, you had to talk to the dean and all this other shit. And I'm telling him, like, I'm sorry, I'm paying this money for this course, but he's wrong. I run a business right now. I don't need the degree to know how to run a business. I've been doing it since I was 12. You know, my dad taught me how to run the business properly. And it's like they're telling you something that's not true. Yeah, what they're not telling you is they're teaching the business class because they couldn't run a business if they tried. They wouldn't even know where to start. They have no idea. That's why they put those people in the power position. You never see a business teacher who actually runs a business. It's like you never see a fitness teacher that's in the... I had a fitness teacher who was a fat guy at Macomb. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm trying to learn fitness and nutrition and diet. And I was taking those as my electives, which later on I went into personal training and certified nutritionist and things like that. But this guy had no clue. He's like 300 pounds trying to tell us about fitness. Trying to show us how to use a weight that he never looked like he lifted in his life. It's like, who are they paying to put in these positions? You know, so it's like that in every walk of life. That's why on social media, 9 times out of 10, you get somebody, they can give you a nice talking point, but they have no idea what they're talking about. So I say, if you're watching somebody and over time, they keep leading you to slaughter, even one time is all you need to know. If they're willing to do it once, they're willing to do it again. I have only had one professor who spent 20 plus years in industry. He's in his 70s and just wanted to pay. That's the kind of guy you need to find. Ironically, I came across somebody similar. He was in his late 60s, early 70s. He was teaching she was teaching the psychology course because I took that as an elective. I was going to minor in psychology if I went to a bachelor's program. And she was actually a licensed psychologist, and the only reason she started teaching is because she retired. That's the kind of person you want, somebody who's been through the ringer. She was fantastic. She taught me more about psychology and the human evolution and the mind than anybody I've ever met. But she had on-the-ground experience, so she would, when we'd go through the book, she would say one thing and be like, you know what? With all due respect, on the test, it's going to be like this, but that's not how it works when you're in the office. And she would tell you what was going on. I'm sure she didn't stick around for long, but like she said, she didn't need a tenure. She was already retired with retirement. She was just doing it to help and pass time. And they always lie to us and laugh to us, absolutely. Especially on social media. You are the Matrix. All of this ends with a cell phone on a beach. I mean, Sola Jeffy, it's harder and harder to disagree with that, to be honest with you. 4-year business communication. Is that business communications? Is that what that is? To Raven, and thanks for being in town for 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Is that business communications? Is that what you're talking about? Your professor? I just want to make sure. But yeah, he's only lost dollars in the stock market. Yeah, that tells you probably aren't going to get the proper information from that guy. He's in business. The number one thing he should do is learn how to invest his money. So, but yeah, that's why I always tell you, I'm not afraid of who I'm losing anymore. I'm actually very blessed with who I have in this community. We have a very strong core group. I'm a microbiologist with focus on fungi. Ooh, biotech. That's a great field, actually. That's an interesting field. I could probably learn a lot from you, to be honest. That is a very in-depth field. You went through a lot of schooling for that. Congratulations, and putting it into play. Jake Claver's a douchebag. I don't give him the time of day. If you guys like him, that's okay. Go back and look at his lawsuits from 2020 and see what I'm talking about. That guy is the biggest tool in the crypto space. He's the exact identity that you don't need. I wouldn't listen to a damn thing. Domino theory. The only domino theory that he could provide you is the domino effect going from your portfolio to his pocket. I don't talk about that scumbag for a reason, but I don't want to get into that. That's not who I am anymore. I like how everybody's like, uh-oh, you're going to get it now. Biotech, you have your own lab and advisor for a business in North Hollywood and Duluth. Wow. I didn't know that. Congratulations. Now your name makes more sense now, the biotech. Bachelor of Commerce. Okay. Bachelors of Commerce. That's why I needed the clarity, because I know there's a few of them with those symbols. Ooh, Bachelors of Commerce. I don't really know anybody with that degree. Wow. What do you do with that one, to be honest? Is that... I couldn't even tell you about Chad Steinberg, to be honest with you. I don't watch any of those people. I don't even know who that is, if I'm being honest. Let's see. I need my Tom Floyd to push up. The political science degree, I don't want to be a dick, but that's probably the worst degree you could possibly get. Even if you want to go into politics, you're putting yourself through the ringer. But I mean, it's not a bad degree as a whole. It's an easy one to acquire. A lot of sports athletes go for it. It's all I need to know. But yeah, political science is basically, that's basically the, it is useful because you learn a lot, but it's useless if you're trying to make some money. You pay a lot more for that degree than it's worth, I can tell you that much. Oh no, Jay, I like that you pushed the button because I can be honest with people of my approach. I don't hate those questions. I actually admire those questions because you're not afraid to ask. Why not ask? It doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to ask, especially if you respect my opinion. Not saying you have to listen to it, but if you respect it enough to take it into consideration, it's a great question. Now, it doesn't mean you can't listen to him. I'm sure he says something good along the way. Every time I see his face, I'm like, man, this is the kind of person who really hurt this community. You pushed the do not, yeah, you couldn't resist. You seen the red button and you're like, Absolutely, Cannabis Podcast. That is the way to look at it. Not necessarily for monetary gain in the field, but it taught you so much more about what happens, which allows you in the macro to actually be more successful. Am I reading it properly that way? With what you're trying to, direct at me? I think that's what you're trying to get me to get out of that. That's why I said it's a good degree, except when it comes to making money. Unless you get lucky, basically. Oh, good. I'm glad that I was able to at least understand what you were trying to say. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that kind of a degree to learn what's going on. Absolutely not. It's just you're going to have to get very, very lucky to make enough money in that field to be worth it. And then you did your job with the political science degree because you actually paid attention. Most people with it are even more trapped than before they started because they can't look outside the box of what is actually being said. I'm proud of so many people in here sharing your personal education too. So Jeffy, college was a fun part. It was not fun or a party for me. I went to a community college and I had to pay for it all out of pocket, which meant I had to have 2 or 3 jobs. So what I would do is I would get up at 6 in the morning, go to my first job for 8 hours, go do some sprinklers on the side, had to get another job at Myers on the side of that. So I did security, sprinklers, Myers, and then I'd go to school, a couple classes a day. Or I'd have class from 8 to 12, and then I would go work my sprinklers for like 4 to 6 hours, and then I would go work security from 4 to 12, and then I'd have to get up at 6. So I would literally work like 12 to 18 hours a day minimum so that I could pay for the schooling because I didn't want to take out loans. I'd put them on the credit card, and then I would pay them back, the best I could. And I came out with no debt, but the community college obviously was cheaper. But I had to work my ass off. Like, I've never been afraid to work. But then when I got injured, it took my ability to be a sprinkler man. So I had to give that up, and that was pretty lucrative. I had a nice contract with a couple of condos that paid me like $7,500 a summer just for those 2 jobs. Sometimes that didn't count the sprinkler repairs. I had to blow the sprinklers out and return them on and things like that. But it was a good contract. I had good contract, good contacts. I had connections with Rainbird and some of the cool guys. In fact, there used to be a big Rainbird warehouse about 20 minutes from my house that is no longer there, but that was the bee's knees. Tom, are stocks from the Jews as crypto is from Chinese? No. The Khazarians is what crypto is. I mean, ooh, wait a minute. You're talking about the stocks. I think the infiltrated Jews, yes, which are the Khazarians. Look up Kazakhstan. The Khaza, the Khazarians. They've infiltrated the Jewish culture and make the Jews look really bad, but it's actually Khazarians. It's the Khaza. It's the Fugazi. It's not actually the Jews. It's the Khazarians who have infiltrated. Fake who's exactly. Fake. Yes, the Jews are actually very good people. Very helpful. One of the best you'll ever come across if you need to learn about money management. No joke. I've learned so much from the Jewish people. It's not even a joke when it comes to that. But they're absolutely being assaulted by the Khazarians. The Khaza. But yeah, I hope we do enjoy our time together here, because I certainly do. I plan on being back here tonight if I can. I like to be here on Friday nights, as you know, when the market closes for the weekend. You know, the futures. But I do have to go. I got some stuff to take care of, as you know. I got a lot of stuff I'm dealing with outside of this. Anybody who's in the classes, I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Make sure you top up and you watch and you make sure that you're caught up. Or if you're not, you can watch it in real time. You just might not understand what's going on. But there's a database that'll be growing by the week. And now we have a month worth of information in 8 different classes. About 12 to 14 hours of learning you already get. For the amount of time I do, it's less than like $5 a class. Maybe $5.50. I've had people tell me I should raise it 2 or 3 times to make more money, and I just think that's not the right approach. I think with the quantity outweighs the price, and I already think it's kind of high for most people, so I already feel bad about having to do it that much, but I'm giving away so much of my time, I have no choice. So that's never going to change, no matter how bad things get. That's going to be the same. Wow, Luke, thanks for being in town for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor, and also the $19.99 super chat. Can we look at Luna Classic? Why the hell not? I've often said I will go outside of the teachings in the daily or the normal charts. If somebody sends me a super chat like that, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be $20, believe me. But that was very generous, and I'll do my best. Do you guys remember when this came out, when Lunk came out? Remember they went from Luna to Lunk? And I said, please, please, with that pump, don't get too invested in the beginning. And I tried. We tried. Pointing to that. I don't even need to keep that up, but we tried. I tried my best to keep people from getting humiliated by this token. I really did. And I said they were just stealing from you. But right now, significantly in a weird spot. It's failed to come, and this is I haven't looked at this in years, and look how much this matched up from when I used to do this. We didn't even know, but I put that resistance line down there in the very beginning and said, once it breaks this, you know. And it's already going to be too late. But this was for anybody who invested in this and thought it was just easy gains, this was the one that really broke the camel's back for some. Not only did they lose in Luna, now they lost in this, and now they can't believe what they did. And now it's not even a flat, that support now. And the best I can show you is from here. I'm going to try to give you an in-depth chart, my brother, for paying it forward. And you're already in Tom's army, so you're already doing enough. So could say you possibly are forming this descending wedge on the back end, which could be, but look at it can't come all the way down here. So we have to look at it more like this. So what you have to try to do is time this with where the chart can go. So now it can, this is efficient, it can come here, but it can't come from the wick. So now we have to go through the body and try to get something. So now the flat support would be like 0, 0, 0, 0, or 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 8. If we go to the apex, it's 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 4, 3, 8. Right now we're at 0s. So that's a huge drop. It doesn't seem like it, but when there's zeros in play like that, the drops become enormous. If it comes all the way down here, that's approximately, I don't know, 65% down. You need to break that downtrending resistance to try to get to the top side. We haven't been able to yet. So I would definitely take a screenshot of that and watch it. See how it plays out. Anything below that blue line is extremely bearish, I must tell you. And if I was a bet man, this might go to 0. Oh, I typed in lunch. No, that's Lunk. LUNC. Isn't that Luna Classic, or did I type it in wrong? Oh, you thought I spelled lunch wrong. I see what you're saying. I'm like, wait a minute, am I looking at the wrong chart? Kind of looks like the one from the past. My bad. I'm hangry too. I'm hungry, absolutely. I haven't eaten since 8:30 last night because I fast 16 hours a day, or 8 o'clock, so I can't eat until noon. And I did about an hour and 15-minute workout today too. Yes, super chats are tax-free. Yes, indeed. Because you're donating from your, so now I do have to, YouTube gets a small cut of it, but yeah, from a tax standpoint, well, I mean, it still is technically income, but it's not taxed in the same way. It's different for super chats. That is true, Cannabis Podcast. I didn't even think about that. But you're right, because it shows up different even, so that's not untrue. But they still take money from you because it's considered income. It's just not taxed as heavily. If you want me to be 100 Cannabis Podcast, just based on my own tax experience the last 5 years with YouTube. Let's see. I think that's everything I can do, though. I think I've shown you guys everything I could possibly show you this morning. I hope, Luke, did that help at all with that chart with Lunk? Before I leave, I hope so. And the only reason the miners aren't up here right now with the silver and gold is because I'm trying to focus more on the price, because if you're not in the miners by now, it's going to be one of those things where one day you're just going to get slapped in the face again. Oh, you're welcome, Luke. You're welcome. And I'll try to, every now and then, if I see you in here, update you on that chart, remembering the super chat and things like that. It's not a one-off event. I'll try if I have the ability or the moment. Yeah, I think everything's doing what it's supposed to this morning based on what we see in the chart. So I'll try to update everybody again